There once lived a girl named Irina who had never seen the world, not even once. From the moment she was born, darkness had been her only companion. She didn't know what colors looked like, how the sky stretched endlessly, or how people smiled. For her, the world existed only through sounds, touch, and imagination. But what hurt her the most was not the blindness. It was how people treated her. Children in her neighborhood would play together, laughing, running, chasing each other. But never once did they invite her. Adults would speak in hushed tones when she passed by, their voices filled with sympathy or pity. Poor girl, what kind of life will she have? Those words pierced her heart more than anything else. Over time, Irina began to hate everything, her life, her condition, and most of all, herself. She stopped talking to people. She avoided stepping outside. She felt like a burden, like someone incomplete. But there was one person who never left her side. Ajay's presence. Ajay lived nearby. He had known Irina since childhood, and unlike others, he never treated her differently. He didn't pity her. He didn't avoid her. He simply stayed. Every evening, Ajay would visit her small home. He would describe the world to her in the most beautiful way. The sunset today was golden, Irina, like melted honey in the sky. The flowers in the garden are blooming. There's one red rose. It's soft, just like your hands. At first, she didn't care. She would sit quietly, sometimes irritated. What's the point of describing things I can never see? She would snap. Ajay would smile gently and reply, because even if you can't see them, you can still feel them. Over time, something changed. Irina began to listen. She started to imagine colors, shapes, and faces through his words. His voice became her window to the world. And, slowly, without realizing it, she began to depend on him. One night, as the rain softly tapped on the roof, Irina spoke in a trembling voice. Ajay, if I could see just once, I would do so many things. What would you do? He asked softly. She smiled faintly. I would see the sky, I would see my parents' faces, and I would see you. Ajay's heart skipped a beat. After a pause, she added quietly, and if I could see the world, I would marry you. There was silence. Ajay didn't respond immediately, but in that silence, his heart made a promise. The gift of sight days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Then one day, something unexpected happened. A doctor visited Irina's home with life-changing news. A donor has been found, he said. You can receive a pair of eyes. Irina couldn't believe it. Her hands trembled. Her voice shook. Does that mean I can see? Yes, the doctor replied gently. Tears streamed down her face. For the first time in her life, hope filled her heart. The surgery was scheduled. Ajay stayed with her every step of the way. He held her hand before the operation and said softly, when you open your eyes, the world will be waiting for you. The first sight, the day finally came. Bandages covered Irina's eyes as she lay in the hospital bed. Her heart pounded loudly. The doctor slowly removed the bandages. Open your eyes, he said. For a moment, everything was blurry. Then slowly, light, shapes, colors. The world appeared before her. She gasped. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she saw everything. The white walls, the doctor's face, her own trembling hands. It's beautiful, she whispered. Her parents rushed to her, crying with joy. But in that moment of happiness, there was one person she wanted to see most. Ajay. A few days later, Ajay came to meet her. Irina stood near the window looking outside, mesmerized by the world she had never known. Irina! Ajay's voice called softly. She turned around. For the first time, she saw him, and her heart stopped. Ajay was holding a walking stick. His eyes were empty. He was blind. The realization hit her like a storm. All those times he described the world, all those beautiful details, he had never seen them himself. She stepped back in shock. You're blind," she asked, her voice trembling. AJ nodded quietly. "Yes." There was silence. Then he asked the question he had been holding in his heart for so long. "Now that you can see the world, will you marry me?" The breaking point. Irina looked at him. Her mind was confused, overwhelmed. She had just entered a world full of beauty, color, and possibilities. She wanted to explore everything, and in that moment, she saw AJ not as the person who gave her strength, but as someone who could never be part of the world she had just discovered. Her voice turned cold. "No, I can't marry you." AJ stood still. Her words echoed in his ears. "I've just started my life," she continued. "I can't be with someone who can't even see." The words cut deeper than any blade. AJ didn't argue. He didn't plead. He simply nodded. I understand," he said softly, and he walked away. The letter days passed. Irina moved on quickly. She explored the city, met new people, and lived the life she had once dreamed of. AJ disappeared from her life. Then one day a letter arrived. It was from him. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside it read, "Take care of my eyes, dear." That was all. Nothing more. No anger, no blame. Just those simple words. The truth behind the gift. Confused, Irina went to the hospital. "Doctor, whose eyes were donated to me?" she asked. The doctor hesitated, then spoke gently. "AJ donated his eyes to you." Her world shattered. "What?" she whispered. "He knew you wanted to see the world," the doctor continued. "He insisted. Even when we told him the consequences, he didn't hesitate." Tears flooded her eyes. Every memory came rushing back. His kindness, his patience, his love. He had given her everything, and she had given him nothing in return. Regret. Irina collapsed to the floor, crying uncontrollably. I didn't know. But it was too late. AJ was gone. She searched for him everywhere. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. But she never found him. A changed heart. Time passed, but Irina was no longer the same. The world she once found beautiful now felt empty. Every sunset reminded her of Ajay's words. Every flower reminded her of his descriptions. She realized something painful. He had seen the world more clearly without eyes than she ever could with them. The final scene. One evening, she stood under the same sky AJ once described. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I can see the world now, she whispered. But I was blind when it mattered the most. She closed her eyes, and for the first time, she truly saw him. Moral of the story. Extended. When circumstances change, people often change too, but not always for the better. True love is not about what we see, but what we feel. Sometimes we fail to recognize the value of people who stand beside us in our darkest moments, and when we finally realize their worth, they may no longer be there,